Ugh. Ugh. How does Trixie tolerate these smoke bombs? Oh hey, I'm back at last, and just in time for Season 7 too. Greetings one and all, and welcome to the Mystic Mind Analysis. I am the Nightmare Rider, Major Mind, reminding you, as always, that even a cheeseburger can be deconstructed its original source. Season 7 of MLP has kicked off with a bit of a break from the traditional opening format, as this time around we technically don't have a two-part story. Rather, we have two separate stories which influence one another, while still being separate in their own right. As such, I think it would only be fair to review these episodes individually instead of as one like previous seasons. After the dramatic and, quite frankly, epic Season 6 finale that was To Where and Back Again, Celestial Advice opens up immediately after, and though Twilight is forever organised when it comes to friendship lessons, Discord has different ideas, as he always does. With Twilight being Celestia's former protege, history is now repeating itself with the teacher agonising over their student, in this case Twilight over Starlight, developing enough to learn about friendship independently. While Starlight's development has been rather haphazard, and some would say minimal, over the course of Seasons 5 and 6, she did step up and take a big role in using her wits to infiltrate the Changeling Hive, giving Thorax the opportunity to reform the majority of Changeling culture into something sustainable. A feat of heroism which is a pretty big jump in the right direction, in this humble mage's opinion. So it begs the question, as proposed by Discord, are Starlight's friendship lessons complete? While Discord's motivations are hardly ever straightforward, it should be noted that Twilight's paranoia is not a result of his chaotic suggestions. While Twilight is projecting her fantasies to Spike and Celestia for advice, the potential negative outcomes we see are not entirely unfounded. The new situations in different nations are as new to Twilight as they are to Starlight, and so when we have cultures which form their friendships on perhaps more dangerous traditions, Twilight has at least some validation for her fears. Spike's role as a down-to-earth, deadpan snarker also serves as an important contrast, pointing out the logical inconsistencies in Twilight's fears. The fact that we understand how both sides are valid in their rationale reinforces the complexity of the base characters, while also giving us an insight into how they've developed. It must be said, however, that the plot of this episode as a whole is rather thin. Twilight's fantasies take up a good chunk of the overall runtime, with Celestia's flashbacks stretching out these scenes in order to delay the central point. That's not to say that anything was misplaced, however. After all, though Twilight's character arc isn't as broad as it used to be, she's still getting used to her role as a princess. It's just that this last minute change of plans also has Starlight feeling a bit shocked, yet we get to see almost none of her reactions. If we had cut down Discord's elongated ramblings and instead replaced them with more of Starlight's reactions, Twilight could have come up with a compromise akin to the Changeling fantasy as a means of concluding what was collectively best for both of them. As it stands, this episode could really have been fleshed out more. Now, what I can say without a doubt as the best aspect of this episode is Celestia's development. For most of the show's run, she has gotten relatively little depth besides being a reflection point for Twilight to compare herself to. Many have speculated at the kinds of emotions she went through when she had to banish Nightmare Moon, a subject which is explored in many a fanfic, but now that Twilight is a princess on a similar level to her, she can honestly reflect back on how she went through the same worries that Twilight is experiencing. Trying to find the best solution for a gifted student was always going to be a gamble, one which is implied to have been previously lost with her own sister. I like the fact that Celestia isn't a godlike figure that some have maybe initially pictured her as. She may be a powerful royal leader of a nation, but by the same token she isn't immune to everyday worries and difficult decisions the average pony may go through. Though ultimately the choice she made was the right one, the fact that she has been in the same horseshoes as Twilight now gives her the perfect moment to guide Twilight not as a mentor, but as an equal. Overall, Celestial Advice was more of an interesting episode than an entertaining one. It follows more the slice of life formula than the adventure stories we are used to getting in past seasons, and sets up a new dynamic for Starlight, who still has issues being defined as an individual character beyond her villain status. The episode was slow-paced and perhaps lacking in the plot department, so this isn't an episode that really entices me back to multiple viewings. But by that same token, it doesn't mean it's a bad episode. Weaker than the season openers? For my money, yes. But it still gives us potential for Starlight to expand on her own lessons in the seasons to come, as well as giving us a glimpse of where she can go from here as an independent learner. I give Celestial Advice an overall grade of a B-.